Hi, I'm Ram Sankachi. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to walk you through a home we just completed. It's a model home that we did for Fernbrook Homes. Now, we picked the finishes in the beginning, they've gone through their construction phase, and now we've completed the decorating. The challenge here was to understand who the clientele or the potential buyer would be. The house is just outside of Toronto in the suburbs in a town called Rockwell. It's just outside of Guelph, so it's about an hour to an hour and a half away from Toronto. In my mind, it would be a young buyer, perhaps even a first or second time buyer, someone that wants something a little bit more affordable, maybe a family just starting out with a couple of young kids. So with that in mind, we wanted to create a palette that was somewhat universal and neutral, that appeals to everybody, has some hits of classic elements, some contemporary elements, and maybe some fun hits of mid-century modern throughout, which is exactly what you see in this house. When you walk in, it's a traditional layout. You've got your double garage on the side, your foyer, which makes it a little bit tight as you walk in. They've done a great job of leading you into that floor plan that opens up as you get to the rest of the house. The foyer is sunken. You walk in and we've created a nice area on the side with a console table, somewhere to drop your keys as you walk in, a closet, and as you walk through, the first thing you'll notice is the flooring that we picked. It's a beautiful blonde wood laid in herringbone throughout the entire space. It adds a lot of character to this main floor, and it carries throughout the entire house actually, so it's not limited to that first space. Now as you step up, you walk by the powder room on your left side, and on your right is a small staircase that goes to the upstairs. Now the dining room is right in front of you, and you have to walk through it to get into the living space in the back. Now it's set off to the side a little bit to make the rest of the house accessible, and I love the way they've done that. To make that even work better, we chose to keep things very light and airy in the dining room. Even the light fixture, I wanted something that was somewhat transparent that you can see through, not to block you off as you're walking through that space. There's a mirror and console on the left side. The drapery warms the space up, and the table is just the right size so it doesn't overpower the space. On the right, we've got a gallery wall that again leads you to the back, and the back is open to the kitchen and the family room together. As you walk into the kitchen, it's a big space. Lots of room to work in, an eating area, a massive island, which I absolutely love. The waterfall cascading down the side with the countertop is a nice detail. Now you'll notice in the kitchen, the cabinetry, there's two styles. We've got a very classic, elegant look that's white cabinetry that goes around the outside with shaker doors. Very simple, very understated, but then the island, in contrast to that, is a bit of a darker color, a little bit of metallic. We tried to mix up the metals in here. It's a really important thing, not to stick to one metal. It fixes you and you don't want that. There's just so many beautiful colors of metals today and finishes, and you want to incorporate all of them to keep that balance throughout the house. Lots of space in here to work. You've got a lot of food preparation space. You've got a lot of cleaning areas. In behind where the cooktop is, you've got a lot of room on either side to work with in your cooking zone, and we've got tons of storage. Now you'll notice we took the cabinetry right down the wall into the breakfast area. There is a reason I did that. I love to overlap spaces like that because it keeps the spaces from becoming compartmentalized. To stop the cabinetry halfway makes the kitchen feel like it's only in this area. This way it makes the entire space feel like a kitchen. It also takes some of the stress off the kitchen because you've got additional storage there, items that you would need access to from the breakfast table, and also a coffee station, which takes, again, more stress off the kitchen. Now the drapery really warms the space up, and you'll notice we carried the same drapery from this room into the other room. That gives you some continuity within the spaces. You'll also notice that a lot of the metals in here, there's all kinds of different finishes, and they all work well together. Try and keep away from keeping one kind of metal. It really fixes you, and it makes it difficult when it comes to decorating. The island fixtures are very unique. I went with triple fixtures on each side. The scale is right, and then the other fixtures actually complement it but are nothing like it. And as far as that drapery carrying through, it creates some continuity, again, much like that cabinetry traversing into that space. The drapery carries you into the other space. I love the way the family room is laid out. We did a sectional there, which is a lot of family seating. It's an area that is a conversation space. So that sectional is rounded off nicely with two individual chairs that are swivel chairs. They can swivel towards the fireplace and TV if you want them to, but really it's a conversation space. It's a family space. You need a lot of room to accommodate people. And then we've got a couple of poofs that are very versatile. You can pick them up, move them around, and people can sit on them if they want to. It's not comfortable seating, but it's additional seating. And if you need more, you can always pull in chairs from the breakfast area. As we go up the small flight of stairs off to the side of the dining room, you come onto one landing. It's kind of a room that was tough to decide what to do with. I decided to go with an office space, a home office space that everybody in the house can use. It made no sense to use it for a media space or a TV room. It's too close to the bedrooms. It really takes over the entire room if you start to put large furniture in there. So I decided to do something different, create some kind of really interesting look on the back wall. So I did paneled wall, some trim work, some recessed panels, and then we painted it dark. It's an accent wall. When you come up, it hits you, and right in front, we did some floating shelves. So you got a lot of texture and depth that's created because of that. Put a beautiful table in, again, keeping it light and airy, making it glass so you can see through the space and feel the openness and the vastness of the space. But then it's open to the next staircase that goes up. We took advantage of the ceiling height. We did the drapery nice and tall, hung a light fixture to bring everything into proportion. And as you go up the next flight of stairs, you go to the bedroom spaces. And the most important room, of course, the master bedroom. We wanted to make it inviting, warm. It is spacious, but you want to fill the space but not overfill it. So the right size bed, right size side tables, and then what adds the warmth is the texture on the walls. I went with a wallpaper, and I love using commercial wallpapers. One, they're economical. Two, they're very durable. And three, they look fantastic. Easy to install. They're wide, 54 inches, which means less seams. And they add a lot of warmth to the space. The light fixture itself brings the entire space into proportion. We've got a Colford ceiling there that vaults upwards. And one thing I like to do is take that ceiling and take those outside corners and put some plaster molding on them. One, to define them, and two, to make the lines very crisp. So the plaster kind of accentuates the lines but adds a little bit of detail. And I love the way it's turned out. The window and the window treatment is very important in the window spaces. The drapery adds warmth. But what's important to notice is that the blinds that we used are the Hunter Douglas top-down, bottom-up blinds. So you've got a sheer on top and you've got a solid fabric on the bottom. If you want to be able to see out the window, you can drop the shears down from the top, but people can't see your body. And if you want complete light and you want to pull them all up, you can. So you get a lot of versatility. So the bed is dead center in the room, creates a nice symmetric feel, but we had the added depth, so we put a bench to fill that space. That's always a useful element. The master ensuite itself, again, the materials are very neutral. The entire house is very neutral. The colors are one color throughout. They flow, except for the bedrooms. They start to warm up as you go into the bedrooms. The materials are very universal. They would almost appeal to anybody and everybody. The cabinetry is neutral as well. You've got a beautiful freestanding tub with a unique fixture above, some interesting wall sconces, and the rest is all about decorating. And then we've got 3 other bedrooms upstairs that we decided to do. One is a guest room that's somewhat gender neutral. It is a little bit more towards the masculine feel, but it would appeal to anybody. And then you've got the other 2 bedrooms that we decided to go. One as a toddler room, which is a fun room. You've got this fun bed in there, kind of like a canopy bed. The wallpaper in there is very whimsical. And you've got some other pieces of furniture that clearly make it a toddler room. And then the 3rd bedroom is the tween room. It too is not a very big room, but picking the right scale furniture can really make it work. We went with a single bed, and we decided to put a nice work desk with some storage above, some open shelves, and it makes the room work well. It's a fun room. It's got a beautiful decor, and I love the way it's turned out. Now, as you carry through the house, what's important to note is that there's continuity between the spaces. When you walk into every room, it doesn't feel like you walked into a different house. You know clearly that it's all part of the same house, but every room has its own character. I love the way this entire house has turned out. I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough, and I'm actually working on another house that we're decorating for Fernbrook Homes. This one is completely different, and I can't wait to shoot it and bring it to you. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, because that is a house you're not going to want to miss. Stay tuned.